quite certain that those that eat caviar don't use vending machines. But anyway, boxer Hector Macho Camacho was a legend indeed, and out of the ring as well. But he's remembered mostly for some of his big wins, including this one where Macho took down boxing great Sugar Ray Leonard. Defending Sugar Ray, that was a bit past his prime. Sadly, Camacho was taking off life support, died yesterday after being shot in his hometown of Puerto Rico. He was 50 years old. Here now to talk about the life and legacy of Macho Camacho is on-air analyst for Showbox and boxing historian Steve Farhood. Good to see you, Steve.
Thanks for having me.
He was an interesting character.
Yes.
In and out of the rings, the flamboyant outfits, a showman, an entertainer, not just a good boxer. Are you surprised the way this sad story ended? We should say drugs were found where he was shot. He had some drug issues and some crime issues outside of the ring.
Yeah, and unfortunately with some of our boxers who have endings like this, and unfortunately it's all too common, there's a certain inevitability to it. It's very sad, but I can't say that anyone who knew Hector Camacho and followed him, and I was there at his pro debut right down the block, was that surprised by something like this.
Why?
Because even when he was starting as a boxer, he was living on the edge. There was always drug use. There was always partying. He was an entertainer, and he didn't seem to be able to turn off, that part of him when he was outside the ring. And he had one good time. Great smile, always an entertainer, always a character, but didn't take care of himself and was very self-destructive.
The guy was a very good boxer for over 3 decades, was even considering a fight coming back, I think, next year, right, at age 50, I believe. But I don't remember him as one of the all-time greats myself. I think of Sugar Ray. I think of a lot of the others, obviously De La Hoya and others in that class. Is he one of the true greats? Is he a Hall of Famer?
I think the reason he's not a Hall of Famer is because of expectations. When he turned pro at the Felt Forum at Madison Square Garden, anyone who was there said, this is a special fighter. He was exceptional in hand speed. He could match anybody. He was a great fighter for a very short period of time, but it was way too short a period. And it all changed for him in 1986 when he fought Edwin Rosario. He got pounded in that fight. He won a close decision, controversial decision, but he got hit a lot. That had never happened to him before, and he lost his nerve. So even though he fought, how many more years? 24 more years. He was never the same fighter, and he never really realized his potential.
The great fighters today still remain, though no heavyweights right now. Was there a lesson learned from guys like Pacquiao and Mayweather that they haven't had that sort of out-of-the-ring trouble? They have saved their money. Was there any legacy in terms of learning what he did wrong?
Unfortunately, no. Not in boxing, no. No, it's the same mistakes that have been made for 120, 130 years. Fighters who are ill-equipped to handle the fame and the money suddenly are millionaires, suddenly make the big dollars, as Camacho did, and have no idea how to handle it, end up squandering not just their money, but often their talent.
So the one fight everyone that loves boxing is waiting for, Mayweather, Pacquiao, will it ever happen?
Sure doesn't look like it. The fact that it's even still being talked about 2 or 3 years after it should have happened is amazing in itself. But from a historical perspective, there's never been a fight that could generate this kind of income. And we're talking about both fighters making upwards of $60, $70 million for one night's work. It's never not happened. This is the first time in boxing history that a fight of this magnitude has not been made.
It's miraculous, isn't it? Get that fight. Make it happen. Steve Farhood, check him out. Follow him on Twitter. He's with Showbox as well. Good to see you, Steve.
Thank you very much.
All right, coming